We're now going to talk about the principles of visual design and how it relates back to the web. The way I like to encourage students to remember this is through the acronym CRAP. So C-R-A-P. And that's contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. Let's first talk about contrast. Okay, so it says here, unique elements in a design should stand apart from one another. One way to do this is to use contrast. Good contrast in a design, which can be achieved using elements like color, tone, size, and more, allows the viewer's eye to flow naturally. So we can see that through color, tone, value, size, and shape, and direction. I've got an example here I just pulled up of a website, a demo. And again, you can see lots of examples of color contrast, right? We got the white, the orange, the blue. We can see that up above. We can see using different shapes in here to kind of grab your eye, these circles here. We can also see the animation to help direct our attention to different elements there. So that could also be used. We also can look at other ways. For example, on here, we can see that this font is all uppercase and this is normal case. This is bold, this is not. We can see other examples throughout the site of imagery and non-imagery. Contrast really can help out direct your eye towards things and makes things stand out typically. And so that's really probably one of the easiest ways that you can help your design is just through basic contrast. Now repetition, it says here, repetition breeds cohesiveness in a design. Once a design pattern has been established, for example, a dotted border or specific typographic styling, repeat this pattern to establish consistency. In short version, establish a style for each element in a design and use it on similar elements. And I think you can see that in here, the orange buttons, the different words that kind of stand out that are orange. You can see here the 3 items, that all look the same, that kind of similar shape with a circle above them, things like that. And you can see that repetition throughout the colors. Color is definitely one of the easiest things to repeat, but it's seen throughout the entire site for sure. Alignment. Proper alignment in a design means that every element in it is visually connected to another. Alignment allows for cohesiveness. Nothing feels out of place or disconnected when alignment has been handled well. One of the biggest problems I see young students have is they'll have like a wrapper, for example. You could almost draw an imaginary line from this side right here all the way down, and all of their content for the most part will fit within that wrapper. And you can kind of see that to be true on this website. Even though there isn't always a visual line, it's there. Same on this side here as well. But I'll have students that will have an item hanging off to the side here or something that kind of breaks that wrapper. You can see these horizontal lines, kind of grouping different items together and helping draw those. One other thing too I see a lot of students struggle with is when to left align, center, or right align text. Now, on a good chunk of text like this, I don't think I would center this. And to be honest with you, a lot of text, I tend to stay away from centering. This text right here, you can see this is all left aligned. It might work centered, but again, typically you want to have an alignment on there. It ties it all together again, but you can draw an invisible line here. Or if it was right aligned, you could draw a visible line there. But center doesn't really have a line because every single line is just a little bit different. For example, this line right here, I couldn't draw a line along this edge. It only comes down through the middle, and again, it's a little bit more difficult to visualize. So that's alignment. Be careful with that. Stay away from center aligning items. Typically, if you have a header or maybe like one line of text, it might be okay, but typically you want to left align it or right align it. The last one, proximity, allows for visual unity in a design. If two elements are related to each other, they should be placed in close proximity to one another. Doing so minimizes visual clutter, emphasizes organization, increases visual comprehension. Imagine how ridiculous it would be if the proximity icons on this graphic were located on the other side of this document, right? So if we were to take this and put this on another page, it wouldn't really feel part of the principles of design. And so when you look at menu items, like a main menu item, it wouldn't make a lot of sense to have contact us on a second line of menu items, right? Especially if it's a first. It wouldn't make sense to have the Facebook icon outside of this social grouping. It wouldn't make sense to have our phone number, down here in another place and not grouped with the email address. So you really want to group items that belong together, like their special services. Keep those all together. They're all their services. That's important. Each one of these, you probably wouldn't want to bring remodeling down like 2 or 3 more lines and leave 2 here and then 1 down here. They don't belong together. So proximity really ties those together. And anytime you have similar items, you really should group them together using alignment. And so hopefully that made a little bit more sense on CRAP and how that applies to design.